What did the Cowboys show you in the win yesterday?
This was, well, it's been this kind of year. It's really been this kind of year. And I'm sitting at my restaurant, Playmakers, with everybody.
Plug.
We've been in there suffering through this season. And then the Cowboys.
Where did you watch the game at again?
At my restaurant called Playmakers 88 right there.
Okay. Playmakers 88.
Appreciate you giving me another shot at that. but I'm sitting in here, we're watching the game, and it's so crazy, guys, because right now, we probably at a place where, okay, let's start, you guys mentioned up here before, let's start looking at a draft and see what's happening. So when they're starting to make plays, I'm looking around, and I'm catching eyes with a few of the people in there, the fans. Some of the people, they're like, what the hell are they doing? we don't need this now, you know. I thought we were going to be having the Shedeur Bowl Thursday when they played the Giants. So this was a surprise. This was a surprise to show up and play the way they played. Now, what's the good out of this for me? It's these kinds of guys, these guys right here, the Turpins, the Jalen Tolberts, the guys that are the young guys that are making plays. At least I want to see them make plays. But they win yesterday, and Michael Parsons said after the game, we're going to make a run. I don't know how you make a run because I still haven't seen enough offense and certainly not a great enough defense for them to make a run. But I guess that pulls back some of the people. You win a game, but I don't know if you really should have won that game. I'm just conflicted.
I've never seen this.
I've never thought about
saying that they won.
But you know,
I've never.
The problem is they got a double whammy on the hurt side, right? Because they win, it pushes them further away from a
the
high,
number one pick.
not even number one, just a high draft pick.
Right.
And they ain't going to the damn playoffs anyway.
well, they had a
So-
less than 1% chance of making the playoffs before this win,
And it went
and it's taken a dramatic jump to 3%.
Right.
So it's a double whammy.
That's a dramatic jump.
But, you know, we're being tongue-in-cheek here, but obviously players and coaches do not tank.
No.
Organizations tank, GMs tank, owners tank. They try to put you in a position to not be successful. But these types of wins, while might be good for morale,
right now
could mess up your opportunity to get access to a player in the future. But the guys who are on the roster now don't care about that.
No, but they got to mess it up more. They didn't mess it up enough. So you should have put like Zeke at quarterback. You should have done some things that really screw it up. But I guess they.
What did the Cowboys show you in the win?
I mean, they beat a team that has 3 straight losses now in Washington. You can start seeing a little bit of the seams to a degree starting to pop off slowly. Not that Washington's a bad football team, but you're seeing a team that's still trying to learn how to win and win big, all right? So that's number one. Number two, you look at the Washington Football Commanders, they got 4 one-score wins this year, 7 or less points. They got 2 one-score losses. So every game, they right there. It's not like they just blowing people out. So they didn't beat a team that was that significantly better than them, okay, overall. Not the record. I'm just talking about the who they are as a team. So I'm not going to jump for joy because when you look at the Cowboys, yes, they got the Giants coming up. They got Cincinnati coming up. And then after Cincinnati, they got the Carolina Panthers. So they could essentially win 4 in a row, which is crazy.
Oh, my God.
I know, it's, oh, my God. But even with that being said, I don't think they're going anywhere, so it's meaningless. It's for the morale standpoint. They still going to probably part ways with the coaches, so to speak, and they're not going to be in the playoffs. So how do
you're going to get a pick around 12 and 13 and 14. What are you doing with that? I shouldn't be talking about that right. I'm sorry.
But you see what I'm saying?
I shouldn't be talking about that.
But you see what I'm saying, though, Joy? Because Cincinnati right now, they pretty much, you know, the Giants, we know what that is. Cincinnati, they can cap us out like if they go on a run, but they ain't showing us nothing to make me believe they getting ready to go on a run. And then Carolina, Carolina was in the dogfight yesterday with Kansas City, but whatever.
Any of those games could go either way.
It could go either way.
You know, it's just like I played on tanking teams. I was on a team that lost 18, 19 straight games. And obviously, we're trying to, like, this is when I got hurt. We lost 18 in a row. I come back. we started playing 500 ball again. And so they was like, hey, it's time to sit back down.
You heard again.
You heard again. You heard again. But there's a sense of pride, though. You know, that's what these guys have. They have a sense of pride. I understand what you're saying, Key, and you, Michael, and taking, but it's just a certain sense of pride. You hear it in Michael Parsons with the way he talks, like we're back. He's optimistic about it. And it's hard to say, guys, we're tanking. So what the coaches have to do, they have to put the players out there that you got to feel like, oh, they can't win. I can't. Let me sit Michael down. Let me put the players out there that I think
Michael should be hurt.
Michael should. Michael got back spasms right now.
Right. And it's one of the injuries that you can't determine.
You know, but like I said earlier, the clock is right at least twice a day. That's what the win the Cowboys showed me.
What are they?
Even a broke clock.
Do you know the chances of them even getting the number 1 pick? I mean, like, obviously, if they lose every game.
Well, I mean, they're probably out of it because there are too many other really, really bad teams.
The Giants ain't going to win 4 games.
The Giants, the Panthers, Jacksonville, Jets. Like, there are teams that are just absolutely out
that need QBs, the Raiders.
And who are just not in a position anymore to continue winning games. I mean, the Giants very well could lose every game for the rest of the season. So they're not going to get that, but they could be bad enough to be within close to that. And obviously you want to try and get a better pick. But the thing is that it's basically impossible for them to make the playoffs. It's almost impossible for them to make the playoffs.
Especially with that win yesterday.
A tremendous amount of help from other teams as well. They in no way control their own destiny.
Double
if they were
whammy.
to win out.
Playmaker, I feel bad.
So as far as like what it
not
shows
going
me,
to the
it's not. They're not going to the playoffs. The season is over. I didn't think they were going to go winless for the rest of the year. So does the win? Does the win?
I've set my sense to it. I made peace with me on this.
Like, what's
as
the
soon
message?
as I make peace, they come.
What's the message right now? Like, what is the coach's message?
Well,
No,
I mean, at the end of the day, they still feel like there's a chance.
Absolutely.
They are also not going to give up as players or coaches. They have to put out a resume for next year.
I know the message. I got the message. The coach should be saying.
Like, if you know you're going to be fired after the season,
Right.
You know you're not making the playoffs.
He's still teaching, though. He's still teaching. Paul,
We going down, Paul. Let's take everybody we can with us.
I mean, they still
That's
have a
the
job
message.
to do.
That's the message. I'm going to take everybody down with me. Let's go play and take them all out.
You know, like they think that we're out of it. Let's go show them that we're not out of it.
Yeah.
And again, everything that they're putting out is their resume to other teams.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it's not like
Think about this,
it's not like
though,
nobody's
Paul.
watching what they're doing.
Like Joy said, the players, the coaches, and all those stuff, they going to keep trying.
Right.
I was once upon a time. I was 0-7, I think. We was 0-7. 0-7. We beat the Arizona Cardinals in front of 8,000 people in Phoenix, Arizona. In the locker room.
8,000 people.
What y'all do?
In the locker room, the coach said, we got a chance to still make the playoffs. We go on the run. We can get there at 8-8. So coaches go, that's what you already know I looked at it. You don't sit your butt
1-7. He said
Yeah.
we got
a chance.
mathematically out of it, guys.
Yeah.
Well, they're not mathematically.
That's crazy,
out of it.
though.
Also, this was a divisional matchup. You know, it's not surprising to me that they were able to get this win.
And Commander's been struggling a little
Commander's
bit.
been struggling. It's a divisional matchup. There are still players like Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb out there on the field who can make plays. But as far as if it proved anything or did anything for me, bad teams can win games.
Right. And it's always like this. Every time Dallas and Washington, the year we went 1-15. 1-15. Washington was coming off a Super Bowl. They've been playing Super Bowl. The only team we beat was Washington because it's such a big rivalry.
Yeah.
But to take that height and start saying, we're ready to go on a run. That's
the part
come
that you
on back
disagree
home.
with?
That part right there too much.
Well, since they did get this huge win, it could hurt the Cowboys' draft positions. Should they be trying to lose?
Yeah, we should be in the Shedeur Bowl. We're supposed to be in the Shedeur Bowl Thursday against the Giants. Both teams horrible and fighting for that dude right there. Fight for him and his dad. Both teams, probably the coach is going to be gone. And, yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. I wish they would.
You said you're conflicted, though. What's changed?
Well, I'm conflicted because I'm a winner, and I love winning. But I know in order to win long term, I got to take a little hurt here. So I'm conflicted with it. I just want I want it to get. We need Deion and Shedeur. That's just what it is.
Just go on and say it, man.
Something different. We need something explosive, and we need someone that can give us a new hype.
But does one have to come with the other? Like, do you really think that Deion's not going to come without Shedeur? Because again, they just signed Dak Prescott. He has $40 million in guarantees. He has $45 million full guarantee in 2027. Like, no trade clause, no tag clause. They owe him a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money, and he has to agree if anything's going to happen, you know. But I'm saying, you have an opportunity here. I can tell you, I love what Atlanta did. Atlanta stacked up on quarterbacks. We're not worried about what would they have. I don't mind stacking up. Dak can play another year. Dak can play another year or two before you let him go. Yeah. And then it's this kid's time.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with them acquiring or figuring out how to get Shedeur. They don't have to be the #1 overall pick to get Shedeur. I mean, and the reason I say that is because, much like Big Prime said, there's going to be some conversations had in the background anyway about his feelings toward an organization that would draft his son, and whether or not it's the Giants or the Cowboys or the Raiders or whoever, he's going to be involved in it. So
and Jacksonville has a quarterback.
A lot of
the Patriots have a quarterback.
Yeah.
So some of those teams that are going to be drafting high don't need a quarterback.
No. So when
you can Trevor Lawrence in the trade too, if you're Jacksonville.
It's so funny, man. They just paid Trevor Lawrence too, though. I know. These teams, and I know Florida and the whole thing. These teams, like you said, Joy, Dak Prescott, 4 years, $240 million with no trade clause. 90+% of that 240 is fully guaranteed.
Right.
You move him anytime between now and 2027, it's going to accelerate and blow up your salary cap. So you got to be very diligently and careful on what you need to do.
That Dak Prescott
I can draft him.
Quarterback. You can, but Dak Prescott is going to be in Dallas for the next 2 years.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Shedeur needs to grow anyway.
Correct.
And that's what I was saying. There's no rush.
And that's what I was saying. But to this, let us also throw this in. What you just talked about, Paul, over here, Bo Nix. When you see this, we keep talking about no way anybody would do that. When they see what is happening in Denver, they had a big number on the cap, not quite as big.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Ain't that number.
But it's a copycat league. Once somebody sees it and says, oh, okay, they're having success, then people will start playing with that and thinking on it. I'm hoping we do that.
No, but you can't, Michael, you can't do it right now. You can draft him. You can draft him and sit him for a couple years. Yeah. Even the Cleveland Browns are now rethinking the position on Deshaun about moving him or cutting him because it's going to blow up their cap. It's $130-something million that will accelerate. You can't do it. You got to just figure out how to eat that for a little bit.
Well, if you have a rookie quarterback, in theory, that's sort of just the budget for the quarterback room. You can look at it. It is
the budget for the quarterback room, but you can draft him, but you can't move on from Dak because you won't be able to get other players.
I agree. Dak is going to be there for the next 2 years. That's not a question.
He's for sure going to be there.
The money is not.
Right.
But they could draft him. I would still take a quarterback.
How did the tanking experience go for you?
It didn't work, but it worked. We tanked. We were supposed to get the #1 pick. We ended with the 5th pick, which ultimately ended us trading for Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen. So
it worked out.
It worked out.
I would say that was a successful journey. Yes. It was worth the pain.
It was worth it.
You did get a ring out of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It worked.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.